Clayton Douglas Buck was Delaware's 43rd senator, and he served one term from 1943 to 1949. Buck was born in Newcastle, Delaware. Specifically, he was born at Buena Vista, the family estate that would later be owned by Senator T. Coleman DuPont. Further coincidence, Buck would end up marrying DuPont's daughter. Buck went to school in Wilmington and then graduated from engineering school at the University of Pennsylvania. He served in the Army during World War I, and when he got back home, he worked with his father-in-law on the planning and construction of the DuPont Highway. Buck was the chief engineer of the project. In 1928, Buck was elected governor of Delaware, and he served 2 four-year terms. His 8 years in office was the longest term of any Delaware governor up to that point. Which sounds impressive considering he was the 58th governor, but actually prior to 1897, the Delaware state constitution limited governors to 1 term. That said, Buck was the 9th governor elected after the new constitution allowed governors to serve 2 terms, but he was the first to actually do it. Which sounds impressive, but actually he was the first one to try to do it. The 8 guys before him all declined to seek a second term. Anyway, in 1942, Buck decided to run for the Senate, and he defeated Eugene Ennals Burrell by a comfortable margin. He ran for re-election in 1948, but lost a close election to J. Allen Freer. In 1953, he became Delaware's tax commissioner, which sounds riveting. He retired after that and died in Newcastle in 1965. Buck was a distant relative of Senator John M. Clayton, but the more interesting familial connection is through his wife, Alice. As I mentioned a minute ago, she was Senator T. Coleman DuPont's daughter, which means she was distantly related to a man called Charles I. DuPont. Now, think back to the number 10 entry in this series, Nicholas Van Dyke. He had no congressional descendants, but his daughter, who was awesomely named Dorcas Montgomery Van Dyke, married a man called Charles I. DuPont. Well, the Bucks must have liked that name too, because they used it for their daughter, giving her the incredible name of Dorcas Van Dyke Buck. But as if that wasn't enough, she went on to marry a man called Donald Farquhar, making her Dorcas Van Dyke Buck Farquhar. Now that's a name.